All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. If we could all rise for the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We'd like to open the floor for public comment on agenda items only. Hearing none.
Jolie Coates is here. There she is. She's our West Nile virus coordinator for our county and Bradford County. And she's here to give some updates on 25 and what the plans are for 26.
You can come up.
Yeah, you can come right up.
Okay.
So good morning. My name is Jolie Coates. I'm with the Bradford County Conservation District, and I also cover Tioga County. This is just what I will be updating you on.
I don't need one.
Okay.
He's not from here.
All right. So as many of you know, or maybe aren't as familiar with, this program began recently in 2023 here in the Bradford Tioga. We call it the Coalition, and from May to September, I will set mosquito traps. Believe it or not, I actually go out there to try to collect those little creatures. And I go out there, and those mosquitoes that I collect will be then tested for mosquito-borne illnesses. So this summer in Tioga County specifically, I set 139 adult mosquito traps. And through those mosquito traps, I collected over 1,900 adult mosquitoes. Of those, so if you, for those of you that I gave a paper to, 50%, that is a 50% decrease from 2024. That is largely due to the terrible flooding that Tioga County witnessed last summer in 2024. Many parts of Tioga County were decimated in 2024, and of course that left a lot of flood water just hanging around, specifically in the northern part of the county, and that produced a lot of mosquitoes, and that mosquito control treatments were conducted with that. Thankfully, we did not have that. We had a kind of nice dry summer. I like dry summers, doing mosquito work. Mosquitoes begin their life cycle in standing water, so eliminating standing water is very, very important to the decrease of mosquito populations. We can remove that stagnant water, we can hopefully remove a lot of adult mosquitoes. The traps, I set traps every other week in Tioga County, and the traps that I regularly set were in Mansfield Borough, Elkland Borough, Westfield Township, Blossburg Borough, and Wellsboro Borough. Most of those traps are set due to past virus activity as well as human populations. That does not mean that's the only traps that I set. In fact, I covered 26 different municipalities within Tioga County this year, or last season. So part of those numbers go into those from 2025 as well. But again, I do try to focus on human population. As far as mosquito virus activity, believe it or not, there was in fact West Nile discovered here in Tioga County in 2025. There were 2 positive mosquito samples. So those traps that I collect, 2 of those traps that I collected did test positive for West Nile. Those samples that I collected, I did contact the municipality and where they were found to alert the municipality that there was virus activity occurring, as well as, if they wanted to put out a statement for their residents as well, whether on Facebook or on their website, they could do so. As well, just to compare, Bradford County that I also survey, there were 7 West Nile positive samples over in Bradford County. In fact, 66 out of the 67 counties in Pennsylvania had West Nile activity this year. So that's higher than what we've seen more recently. As well as mosquitoes, I also go and do tick collections, because yes, I also go out into the woods and actively try to find them. Sometimes they find me first. In the fall, I collected 50 ticks from around Tioga County. These ticks are collected in public use areas, such as game lands, state forest lands, state parks. And out of the 50 ticks that I collected, specifically the black-legged tick, or we commonly know as the deer tick, out of those 50, 24 were infected with Lyme disease. We had some that had were infected with anaplasma and some with babesia as well. So the ticks are out there. Trust me, they're very active. I'm sure some of you have seen ticks in your lives as well. But through those, please wear, just remember to always check yourself for ticks, and please wear insect repellent, because that is very crucial to prevent these tick-borne illnesses. They are, like I said, they are very plenty. Are there any questions about my mosquito surveillance or my tick surveillance? Yeah.
Does this cold weather have any effect on the population? Like, will it kill the eggs or something? Maybe?
I wish. I wish. The cold and the snow doesn't really seem to have much of an effect. Ticks live about 2 years. They have a 2-year life cycle. In fact, the more snow we get happens to insulate them, so they stay a little bit warmer in the 3 feet of snow. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to give you some bad news on that one.
Rats.
My program, even though, like I said, I am employed by the Bradford County Conservation District, Tioga County is in my jurisdiction, so if there's any municipality or any landowner that has complaints specifically about mosquito biting, please know you can always give me a call at my office. I do have business cards if anyone's interested. If there is a mosquito biting complaint, or even if somebody calls me and says there's stagnant water on my property, and it's a lot and I don't know what to do with it, let me know and give me a call. I will go out and conduct a visit and try to help them with their problem. All right, so I'm all over the place. I'm not just Bradford County. I really want to make that a focus. Some people think I might just be, but I want to make sure I can cover all of Tioga County. I've been all over Tioga County, got really familiar with it this year, so it'd be really nice to get more familiar with it 2026. My 2026 mosquito season this year and tick season starts April 6th this year in 2026, and that will go until the end of September, early October.
Great, thank you.
A lot of good information.
Yeah.
Great. Keep up with your work.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of the January 13th meeting.
I'd like a motion to accept.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Personnel items?
Yes, I have quite a bit for the board today. The first items that I have are for information. We have some retirements, resignations. The first is retirement of Diane Weed from our drug and alcohol department, effective 1/21/26, and she did have 15 and a half years of service, so I would like to recognize the job she did for us in those years that she was here. We also had resignations from Casey Morgan in maintenance, effective 1/23/26. Emily Owlett from Tioga County Prison, effective 2/3/26. Samuel Garrison from drug and alcohol, effective 2/4/26. And Caitlin Wetzel from Family Services, effective 2/13/26. Also information for the board, the sheriff's hired Colton Wood as a deputy sheriff. You've probably seen a new face out front. He's hired at $18.50 per hour with benefits effective 1/27/26. We also have Lori West that was hired as judicial line staff and domestic relations at $15.83 per hour with benefits effective 2/9/26. We also have Jensen Mead that was hired as a clerk in the Prothonotary and Clerk of Courts office at $16 per hour with benefits effective 2/9/26. The first item I have that I would ask for approval would be for Rachel Larrick and Giselle Rummings. They're both caseworker ones in family services that start at $18.80 per hour with benefits, and they both started effective 1/27/26.
I'll make that motion to approve those hires.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next item I have is to approve the hire of Sandy Gales as a caseworker 1 in Family Services at $18.80 per hour with benefits effective 2/9/26.
I'll make a motion for approval for Sandy.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The next item I have is to approve the hire of Tiffany Penner, a foster care caseworker assistant in Family Services at $16.15 per hour with benefits effective 2/9/26.
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
The next item I have is to approve the hire of Darren McFall, part-time on-call corrections officer at Tioga County Prison at $18 per hour with no benefits effective 1/28/26.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The next item is to approve the hire of Samuel Scafidi as a part-time on-call corrections officer at Tioga County Prison at $18 per hour, no benefits, and he was effective 2/2/26.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The next item is to approve hire of Faith Kennedy, part-time on-call corrections officer at Tioga County Prison at $18 per hour with no benefits, effective 2/9/26.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the last item I have is approve employment declination of Catherine Brown, caseworker from Family Services.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next up is a proposal from Wilson Consulting Group for engineering services for improvements along Charleston Street, in line with the new Marsh Creek Rail Trail.
Let's table that for this month. We still have ongoing conversations with DCNR to make sure the scope and we have everything in line and everything set up. So I would make a motion to table this proposal from Wilson Design Group with further discussion with DCNR.
I'll second the motion to table.
There's a motion to table the consulting group with Wilson for intersection improvements along Charleston Street. All those in favor? Consent by saying aye. Aye.
Next up is a proposal from Delta Development Group to assist the county with reporting for the local municipalities who have received LSA awards.
Yep.
Make motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Next up is an updated agreement with Gabriel Farah, who is county solicitor, for 2026 through 2028 with an additional scope of work for the district attorney's office if needed.
Yeah. Senator, do you want to address that at all or talk about that at all?
Want to put a motion on first?
Yeah, we'd like
What's
to
that?
put a motion on and then we'll.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
I just want to add before you make comment.
There's no increase, right? It's the same as last year.
Yeah, see, this is.
It's actually a little bit
Less?
lower than last
Okay.
year.
That's right, okay.
This is all paid out next year.
Okay.
Go.
We're going to make a statement.
Share your comments and then I'll make a statement about it.
With the changes that I've made in the office since I came on board of a different philosophy for how we are prosecuting cases, we are doing fewer plea agreements we're doing fewer plea agreements that are very favorable to defendants. We are getting plea agreements that are more favorable to the Commonwealth, and we are taking many cases to trial. We've had, I believe since I came into office, we've done approximately 35 trials. The prior 15 years, I don't think they even came close to doing 35 trials. So, and we have many on the table. But when you do that, it opens you up to appeal in the appellate division because people are going to state prison as a result of the convictions, and It is just standard practice. You have a right to appeal at the Superior Court level for all cases, so they just are filing appeals of right and should, but when they do that, then that requires us to follow up on that and do briefs, and follow up with all of the different filings at the Superior Court level. I do not have the staff right now to keep up with that caseload. It's always delayed, so a lot of these things happened in 2024. We're just getting to the end of 2025. They've worked their way through the system. Briefs need to be done, and it's very time consuming to be able to write a brief. I do not have the resources. I talked with the commissioners about that, and they graciously agreed after talking with Chris Gabriel and his staff that they would assist us with writing some of those appeal briefs. And that's what this is for, to be able to just help us over this hump. Well, although I don't know that it's going to end, but help us over the hump to try to get some of this briefing schedule taken care of and assist us while we're continuing to process our ongoing cases. So even though I have one ADA, the workload is still significantly higher than it has ever been, mainly because we are just not letting people get away with things. And we are continuing to try to hold people accountable for their criminal actions. That takes more work, that takes more time, that takes more resources. And fortunately, the commissioners have always been very helpful with trying to assist us with line staff, but there isn't anybody who can write appeal briefs unless there's somebody who wants to do that except for another attorney. And they happen to have a young man at the firm who has done appellate work in Philadelphia, who will help us with in the Philadelphia DA's office. So he is very familiar with writing these briefs, and we are thankful to have him available to help with that process. And that's what this additional funding is about. It is not meant to take the place of a potential assistant district attorney. If someone walks in the door today and says, I want to be, I'm looking for a job as an ADA, I would ask the commissioners to certainly keep that option open. This is not meant as a one-for-one exchange, which is what is indicated on the agenda. So I'm not giving up my possibility of adding an additional ADA. I mean, we are I'm working 6 days a week basically at this point, because our workload is so heavy that we can't keep up with it, and I'm not willing to compromise. Maybe someday I will be, I don't know, I'll get too old, but as of right now, we're continuing with the way we're doing things.
Well, we've sat through a couple hearings and appreciate the work you're doing, so
for
thank
sure.
you. I'm thankful that we could find an attorney to help you with briefs. You know, it's a very specific line of work, and it just lined up, so glad we could support you there. And you know, some of this comes out of the struggles of trying to find an attorney for the ADA. And we have a newer attorney up there now. So the resource pool is very limited in Tioga County for attorneys, so it's one thing we're struggling with, but yeah.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and properly seconded. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Aye.
Next is an independent contractor agreement with Jamie Cook, who is also a lawyer, to assist with children and youth.
I'll make motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is a memorandum of understanding between Bradford and Tioga counties, whereas Bradford County will send staff over to assist with our new dormitory as needed.
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'll second the motion for approval.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is a new agreement between the county and the borough of Tioga for tax collection activity.
I'll make the motion for approval.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
For Tioga Borough, they had a vacancy in their office, and they reached out to us about having the county collect. As of right now, we're currently collecting for 20 of our 39 municipalities through the Tax Claim Bureau. So this would be in addition to what we were already collecting. With the election last year, we did lose Farmington Township. They now have an elected collector, Elkland Borough, and Hamilton Township. But we're also bringing on board a few other townships that'll probably be at the next meeting that we haven't previously collected for. I did update some figures just for the board. I know I had provided these last year. The county started collecting when there was a vacancy in these municipalities starting in 2014. Coupled along with that, they also at the time changed the pay from a percentage of collections to a flat rate per bill. Over the last 12 years, this has saved the county $3.5 million. Subtracted from that, it's about $100,000 worth of software costs over that time, so about $3.4 million overall. And that's not to include the cost savings to the municipalities as well, which typically is right around 75%. So this has been pretty beneficial for the county as a whole. Taking these collections on when there is a vacancy, obviously, somebody could run for that position in the future, but we've definitely been able to fill that need for that position within the county.
That's great.
Josh, do you know if, do we need resolutions for that, or we don't because it's a vacancy?
So there's an agreement, we have agreements, the municipalities do a resolution appointing the county.
Okay, that's where, all right.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Next up is a renewal of the same type of agreement with the following municipalities that are listed on your agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreements with listed municipalities.
I'll second that motion for approval.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next up is an addendum to a lease from January 26th between J.M. Greenfield Real Estate and the county addressing the bridge housing units.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, the board has been asked by the Northern Tier Industry and Education Consortium for funding to help with their student work program. We did provide them with funds back in 2024 from Act 13. And they are asking for, well, they don't specify an amount.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve, get it on the table. Or to get it up for discussion.
Okay, and
What was the range? Was there a total range on that?
10 to 15, and we did 12.5 last year.
or in 2024, we did 12.5 at Act 13.
Yeah, Carrie came and gave a.
The numbers for all behind it.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was, I forget, I wrote down something. Yeah, it was pretty staggering the amount of
Yeah,
students they
50
had,
students.
the highest they had in recent years involved with the program. I think it was like 60 different locations that had students working at.
Yeah. I would say we go back in at 12.5.
Do you want to turn? Yep.
I make a motion for 12,500 to be paid out Act 13 towards this organization.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Next up is enterprise fleet management. Later this year, we will have Sam 8 employees for children youth coming back to the county, and they will need vehicles in order to go out and do their jobs. The vehicles that are being used by Sam will not be available to us. So this is a contract to get 4 vehicles, which have been already budgeted for through the plan. And they do come in considerably less than what was budgeted for, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that 695.72 includes vehicle maintenance as well?
Yes.
Is that right?
Mhm.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we had a request to use the green on June 5th with a rain date of June 12th for the Pine Creek Mennonite Church for a hymn sing.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Next is Resolution R326, Municipal Assistance Program Grant for updating the county comprehensive plan.
Would you like me to read the resolution, Chair?
Yes, you can read it, Mark. Thank you.
Whereas the Tioga County will be undertaking a project to execute a county comprehensive plan, and whereas the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development makes available grants in aid to such projects through the Municipal Assistance Program. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Tioga County hereby authorizes submission of an application to the Municipal Assistance Program, and be it further resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Tioga County hereby commits municipal resources in the amount of $50,005 as match for said project. Be it further resolved that the applicant does hereby designate Shane Nickerson, Commissioner, as the official to execute all documents and agreements between Tioga County and the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development to facilitate and assist in obtaining requested grant.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second the motion for approval.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Next up is ordinance 2026-2 for the organization of the Tioga County Trail Park and Recreation Authority.
Read aloud?
Well,
Just the title.
Cliff Notes version.
She said just.
Ordinance 26-2, an ordinance signifying the intention of Tioga County, Pennsylvania to organize the Tioga County Trail Authority Park and Recreation under provisions of the Municipality Authorities Act, as amended, setting forth and authorizing execution of articles of incorporation, appointing and affixing terms for the first members of the board, authorizing all necessary actions, and repealing inconsistent ordinances or parts of ordinances. So in short, we're looking forward to going forward as a county-wide organization. There is different initiatives across the county to have trails in different places like Tioga and Mansfield, Blossburg. We spent a lot of time on the trail here in Wellsburg, which is a very awesome trail. We're excited to have that, but we want to make sure we're spreading love across the county. So we'll have folks from across the county, different walks of life, who will be on this board to help steer and guide the current initiatives across the county to have more trail access for more people across the county, in short. Anything else?
Oh, great summary.
Pretty well.
We had a hearing this morning.
It was well attended.
It was really well attended with 2 people.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion for approval.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next up is ordinance 2026-3, an amended ordinance establishing the regulations, specifications, and restrictions for the use and/or installation of data centers in the county.
Do you want me to speak to this, Chairman?
Yes, if you.
So at our January meeting, we adopted a data center ordinance, but we were still taking public comment. Our goal was to get an ordinance in place for fear that there would be plans submitted to the county before we had this in place, and essentially the development would just fall back on the county saldo. So we wanted to quickly move and get this ordinance in place. Again, while we were still taking public comment, we took public comment to the end of January. We had our planning commission meeting in mid-January, was attended by the county solicitor, Chris Furman. We read through the public comments, and I believe we made half a dozen revisions and did quite a bit of revision in the enforcement section of that ordinance. Is there anything from the Planning Commission you'd like to add?
No, I think, yeah, you hit everything I had on my notes here that we did. I mean, it
We're
was
just high level, but-
Yeah, we kind of tightened it up a little bit, made it a little stronger.
Yeah. We increased setbacks, put some language from the lighting ordinance. If you haven't reviewed the Tioga County lighting ordinance, it is a very strong ordinance. We want to make sure that we protect our dark skies here, and that was an initiative, you know, we worked on a year ago with the Planning Commission. So glad we already had that in place. Can't think of some of the other stuff, but I don't know if there's anything you want to share on
Sure.
enforcement, Chris?
For the benefit of the public, our Tioga County's data center ordinance is a little bit unusual in that it is not a part of the municipality, not enacted under the municipality's planning code. It is not a part of the SALDO. It is a standalone ordinance enacted pursuant to the police powers of the county for a couple of reasons. Number one being, if it was enacted as a part of the SALDO and under the authority of the enabling legislation of the municipality's planning code, your remedies for violations are capped at $500 per violation per day. And we thought that that would not be appropriate for violations of the expected magnitude if they were to occur on developments of this size. So exercising or authorizing this ordinance under the police powers allows us to get outside of that limit. The limit in our ordinance is $5,000, but keep in mind, that's just a suggestion for the judge. If there is a violation and if it is enforced, the fine will be up to the judge ultimately. Also, for the benefit of the public, Tioga County does not employ a code enforcement officer. The sheriff is not taxed with doing code enforcement. This county has traditionally and will continue to do enforcement on a reporting basis. If somebody sees a violation and reports this to us, if the tax assessment office sees a violation while they're doing assessments, they report violations to the Planning Commission or to the commissioners, who then decide whether to do enforcement. So we clarified a little bit of that in this ordinance. And we also clarified that we are delegating first review to the Planning Commission before approval by the commissioners. The reason being, the Planning Commission is the group that has the experience and the expertise for evaluating land developments and land uses. The Planning Commission then will review the application, which should be accompanied by a completed land development approval. So any developer will have to first go through the subdivision and land development ordinance, get that approval, and then get their data center approved. That would be reviewed by the Planning Commission for a recommendation for ultimate approval by the commissioners. That is, in a nutshell, how your data center ordinance works.
And I'd just like to add that, you know, thank you for the work that's gone into this from the planning office and from the Planning Commission. These are, you know, that planning board is volunteers that come together and have really, you know, taken some heat for this thing too. And they've been very thoughtful all the way through. And honestly, I'd like to thank the public. You know, a lot of what's in that ordinance came from the public and their comments and their suggestions. And I really feel good about the direction of the ordinance and all the things that are in there. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see, you know, how it holds up in court, you know, certain things, but I really think that it's a strong ordinance, probably the strongest that we've seen, that we've reviewed from other counties and other states. So I feel pretty good about it. With that said, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second the motion for approval.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Next up are the 5 agreements listed there for the Department of Human Services.
I'll make a motion to approve the listed 5 agreements.
I'll second that motion for approval.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next for information is January 2026 payroll benefits and accounts payable.
Commissioner Mueller?
Marty, can I put you on the spot?
You can.
I apologize.
Okay.
I should have said something earlier. We have been successful in working with FEMA and want to give Marty the floor to share.
Yeah, so after the flooding, because of the presidential declaration, the county as well as municipalities were afforded the opportunity to apply for what's called public assistance grant program, which is basically a reimbursement for any work that we would have incurred for the cleanup or repairs that happened from the flooding. One of the last projects that the county did was a waterway debris management cleanup, which was a very long and exhaustive project. However, we were able to complete it. Our contractor that did the work came well under our estimate. But because of that, FEMA's still going to allot us the money that we initially had put in for the estimate. So we will get an additional, it's around $149,000 coming to us. And we just found this out last week, so we haven't talked about what we're going to use that for, but I think the idea is to put that back in and use it for some of the unmet needs that we still have out there in the community. So some good news, some money coming in.
So what's the total amount we're getting from FEMA?
It's
Or
like
rough idea?
$258,000
great.
dollars, yeah. So-
Yeah, I think we're anxious to, reinvest that back into the cleanup, wherever that's most needed. So thank you. You worked your tail off to get that
Yeah, it was a
project
lot of
over the
work,
finish
but
lines.
It was a team effort, so you guys were included in that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Along that lines, we're also really encouraged by the $2.1 million award to Westfield Township to repair roads and infrastructure over there. So we just got that notice, I believe, a couple Fridays ago. But good news, we're finally starting to see some relief come into that community and keep the cleanup going.
At this time, we'll take any public comment. If you have any, please come to the podium, state your name, where you're from.
Good morning. I am Sarah Welch. Come on, Taylor. I am the Client Relationship Manager for Penn State Extension. I just wanted to come give a brief update as to what we've got going on in the county and some events you can participate in if you'd like. The Master Gardeners, I'm going to read so I don't mess up anybody's program because it's a lot we do. So the Master Gardeners are holding a community care initiative after school program in 5 schools over the next 2 months. And then they're also offering various programming, presentations, and you probably see the seed and library thing going on. You can go over and get some seed packets. They're also partnering with several local events. They also have Seed to Supper coming up on Tuesdays, 5:30 at our Wellsboro office starting March 3rd through April 7th. So if you want any more information on that, please do. It's like a beginning gardening series to learn how to start your own garden and watch it go from seed to your table. Food Family Community Area, Amber is working on getting a lifelong improvements through fitness together, also known as LIFT, program again in the county, but does need some help with instructors, so if anybody's interested, no prior exercise experience needed. And then there is a LIFT instructor training coming up on March 9th. And then Agronomy and Natural Resources, Casey and Craig have been busy. They have their crop days coming up on February 27th, which brings up some specialists from the University Park, and then also provides a hot lunch because it is a day event, and that provides those holding pesticide applicator certificates license right now an opportunity to earn credits, 2 core and 2 category, to maintain their license. There's also another opportunity coming up on March 25th at 6 p.m. for another 2 core and 2 categories. So if you know of anybody that has a pesticide license that needs credits before the deadline, March 31st, those are some options. Both events are held at the fairgrounds, so if you want to check it out, and go ahead. And Taylor is here from 4-H to give an update on what they have going on.
So yep, I'm Taylor Leach. I am the 4-H educator for the county. And I just want to give a little update on some things that's going on in the 4-H world's coming up. So this Saturday, we're going to do a little ice skating, taking advantage of the ice skating rink coming into town for a little bit. So we're going to do some ice skating promotion for 4-H members, as well as end of this month we have our camp staff training. So all the older youth and adults who help out with camp, we come together within 4 other counties, so 5 counties altogether who do regional camp for 4-H. So we're coming together for our meeting to kind of get the camp season going on that aspect. And then next month in March is PA 4-H week from March 15th through the 21st. So just getting things going with 4-H and school programmings and other aspects within the county. So.
Where's the skating rink going to be located at?
It's at Packer Park.
Okay. That's all day on Saturday or just certain times?
4-H it's the community is open from 10 to 2, but 4-H is doing it 2 to 3:30.
Okay.
That way it's just its own kind of
Great. Cool.
promotional event. So.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
for the
we
help.
did.
Oh,
Share these old events 4-H.
Thank you.
any other public comment?
Good morning, my name's Quentin G. One quick thing. First, thank the DA. Great job. Wish we could get that second ADA, that would be great. And I don't want to put any more burden on your shoulders, but we currently have a drug court within Tioga County. Great resource, it helps the people that need it, and it does work. The numbers I was looking at, looks like it's about a 70% success rate. What would be great if we could add to it, and because we already have the drug court and the resources are there, is a veterans court. When I was living downstate in York County, the success rate on their system was 85%. And it turns out that a lot of the veterans that go through the veterans court, the reason they're there is because of substance abuse problems, whether it's drugs or alcohol. And they kind of just work hand in hand with that drug court. So if we could look into doing something like that, that would be great. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the treatment court. I know that we go up and watch whenever we're available. And it's a great program. Our success rate is really high. And the whole team, it's a lot of work. It really is. It's not just, there's a lot of babysitting that goes on, a lot of keeping track of people, but I'll tell you, I've seen some people come through there just, on the other end of that thing that I can honestly say without the treatment court and them just going through the regular system, the success just wouldn't be there. So, yeah. And that's interesting about the veterans court. I have seen that before. I don't know, that's something we could always talk about. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the commissioners meeting.
I'll make the motion to adjourn. I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'll open the salary board. Is there any public comment for salary board? I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 13th meeting.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
The item I have for salary board this morning is for Marina Boyce, a judicial line staff in the probation office, her increase of $1 per hour for completion of her necessary and required training, and she completed that 1/13/26.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Thank you, guys. I have a motion and properly seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll turn it over to Commissioner Rice for retirement board.
All right, we'll open the Tioga County Retirement Fund Board with public comments on agenda items only. Hearing none, we have the minutes before us for the January 13th meeting. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor with aye?
Aye.
Next up is the Citizens of Northern January 2026 management fee.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor with aye?
Aye.
And what's listed there is just for information of the board for recent retirees.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor with aye?
Aye.
I'll turn it over to Commissioner Van Loon.
At this time, we'll open the Tioga County Election Board at 10:45. This time, any public comment for Election Board? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from January 13th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
First and second, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. For information listed down there below, obviously we're moving towards the primary season for 2026. Deadline is already passed for that application process. Any other highlights, Ms. Alexander?
Just that we need to work on our precincts just a little bit.
Yep.
We're looking at our Elk Township.
Yep.
They only have an amount of 27 voters there, and it would be beneficial, I think, if we could move them over to Gaines possibly, that's 5 miles away, just to set them in not just with more voters, but something that is ADA compliant, which they are not at this time.
Yeah, tough situation, obviously. We all have our independence in our own standing area, but
Yes.
yeah.
So we're going to work on that with you and with the solicitor and
Okay.
see what we can get done and hopefully have an answer for that here in the next month or two.
Okay. Anything else? Or?
Commissioners, can I add to that?
Yes, please do.
So my understanding in working with the elections office is that the Elk Township polling place can't find any staff. They don't have any parking. They have some other issues related there. Gaines, my understanding is that the Gaines polling location is big enough to hold to have 2 sets of voting equipment, and if they're willing to take it, I would request that somebody be delegated to reach out to Elk, and that you authorize me to prepare a petition to combine the polling places once we confirm that that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I think it's important to talk to the municipality and see what they want. Maybe, you know, they just, I know that we've struggled there for volunteers to help run. So maybe they would be like, yeah, we've done this before, by the way. Liberty Township and Liberty Borough, now they both meet at Liberty Borough.
And same way with Duncan and Morris.
Okay, so I mean, it's not out of the realm. They might welcome it. So, yeah, I think
This is probably, the building-wise, that building's probably in the worst condition as any of our polling places across Tioga County out in Elk. I mean, it's got accessibility issues, but, I mean, it's electrical issues, and, you know, it's not meant for to be a polling place. There's no restroom there, a lot of issues, so I do agree with Chris that we need to have somebody go out and talk to the municipalities and try to make it more appealing for folks to volunteer and spend the day out there, right? Because you're there for 12 hours.
Right.
And I think you had talked to Gaines about, you know, maybe helping out and got a list of volunteers.
We do have some from Gaines that will help out, and we had one that actually went to Elk Township for the last election. However, they're not willing to do that again because of not having a restroom, not having what they need over there. So they will help, but they want help where they are.
So last year I substituted out so the lady from Gaines could go back to her local precinct to vote. I sat at Elk for an hour. It's very charming. It's an old one-room schoolhouse. There's a lot of nostalgia there, but also it's very antiquated. And then I talked with folks from Gaines, and they want to help, but they also aren't interested in having someone positioned geographically down there in that spot. They said, we welcome here in our own building. We would gladly have one of our folks hop over and help each cycle. So I think they're willing to receive them in and continue to support them if they do not have enough folks. So I would take the lead with Cindy. Maybe we could go to the next meeting, talk to the township, and, you know, just lay out the numbers. Here's the numbers. Here's what makes sense. can we have your buy-in and then talk to Gaines after that and just make sure both parties are on board and then move forward with your process, so.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Great, good conversation. Anything else, Cindy?
No, we've certified through the Secretary of the Commonwealth
Okay.
for Republican and Democratic parties.
Yep.
Other than that, we're
Ready to rock, huh?
ready.
All right, great, thank you. I'll move for adjournment at 10:50 from election board.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor with aye? 10:50. Thank you all for attending today,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.